I'm not going to let you go, Barry. I want to ask you, but at the end of the month, obviously, big fight. Eubank Jr. takes on Conor Benn. Well talked about, well documented. Where are you on it?
I think it's going to be a massive fight. I think it's arguably one of the biggest fights ever to take place in England. The personalities, the backstory between the dads, everything works to make this humongous. We could have sold 500,000 tickets. I think I'm with Conor Benn on this. I think he's gone through more than enough in his life, which has now been completely exonerated. What a waste of 2 years of a young man's life. He's got a point to prove, but Eubank is the bigger man. So I see it as a 50-50 fight. And I believe that Conor Benn can knock out Eubank Jr.
Barry Hearn makes a bold and controversial claim. Conor Benn will knock out Eubank Jr. without question. This explosive prediction has sent shockwaves through the boxing world, raising eyebrows and tensions alike. Amidst the bold predictions, Adam Smith offered a more grounded perspective, focusing on Benn's hunger for the fight. He said, "Ben wants this badly. He's absolutely desperate for it." A comment that speaks volumes about Conor's mindset. This isn't just another bout for Benn. It's personal, unfinished business he's been chasing for years. His intensity could be the X factor when the pressure peaks under the lights. Smith then shifted focus to a tactical angle, adding, "I wonder if Conor will actually be more suited to the slightly higher weight, more natural for him now, a couple of years on from when they were first meant to meet." That insight raises a key point. The delay in this fight might have played right into Benn's hands. He's grown into his frame, possibly turning what was once a disadvantage into a strength. Now, with time, experience, and weight on his side, Benn may be walking into this rematch as the more complete fighter. As talk builds around Benn's physical transformation, his training methods are also turning heads. He's not just working harder, he's training smarter, pushing limits in ways most fighters won't. In a recent clip, Benn is seen letting his hands go while wearing an altitude mask, showing just how far he's willing to go to get the edge over Eubank. This type of high-intensity, restricted oxygen training isn't just for show. It builds serious endurance and mental toughness. It's a clear signal that Benn is preparing for war, not just a boxing match. Every session looks like it's designed to break barriers, both physical and mental. If Eubank Jr. is underestimating the new version of Conor Benn, he might be in for a brutal wake-up call. Conor Benn's training camp has been nothing short of savage, and no one is closer to the fire than Eddie Hearn. The Matchroom boss has seen it all, but even he admits he's never witnessed this level of intensity from a fighter. According to Hearn, Conor isn't just training, he's obsessed. Every single day, side by side with his father, he's going to war in the gym, pushing his body and mind to the absolute limit for April 26th.
I mean, look, Eubank's playing a blinder for the promotion of the fight. I mean, a little bit annoying. I mean, unfortunately, if I fight, I'd want to give him a slap myself, but that's not going to happen. So, Conor's fired up. I mean, honestly, I've never seen someone put themselves through what he is putting himself through in training camp. He's going to be like a caged animal when that bell goes on April 26th. A big disadvantage in size, but he makes up for it in attribute, hunger, youth, tenacity, volatility, and he is in camp with his dad, grafting and dreaming every day of violating Chris Eubank Jr. on April 26th and doing it in spectacular fashion.
Hearn has openly said that Benn is like a caged animal right now, volatile, explosive, and hungry to prove a point. He knows the size disadvantage is real, but believes that Benn's youth, tenacity, and pure desire to violate Eubank Jr. will make the difference. This camp isn't just about preparation, and it's about punishment. Conor's not just showing up to fight, he's showing up to make a statement. Even legendary promoter Frank Warren has weighed in, and surprisingly, he's thrown his full support behind Conor Benn. Known for his long-standing rivalry with Eddie Hearn, Warren putting his backing behind Benn adds another unexpected twist to this already fiery buildup. His comments reflect just how personal and historic this fight is, rooted in a rivalry that stretches back to the iconic battles between their their fathers. For Warren, this isn't just another main event, it's a moment British boxing has been waiting for.
How do you see it going? It's obviously a bit of a
I
neutral.
wanted to let him out the cage. Let him out the cage and let him at him. I want Collins to win the fight. I want him to win the fight. I think it'd be great for him to win the fight. Look, it's rivalry going back to their fathers. Obviously, it's been a big part of British boxing, British sport over the years, and they're their kids. One is 36 years of age now. He's the bigger guy over Conor. I think Conor has obviously shown what he wants to do. Have we seen? I don't think we've seen the best of Conor Benn yet, and I hope that's the case. I've seen Chris Eubanks at the age of 36. The next generation, I think it's a bit of a liberty calling himself the next generation at the age of 36, because I must have half a chance being the next generation. It's a fight that's caught everybody's imagination, and we'll all be tuning into and watching it.
Warren doesn't hold back on his thoughts about Eubank Jr. either, questioning whether the 36-year-old can still live up to his next-gen label. He believes we haven't even seen the best of Conor Benn yet, and that's what excites him most. The idea of Benn finally unleashing everything he's built up over the years is what makes this fight so compelling. With age, pride, and legacy all clashing in one ring, Warren says what many are thinking: this isn't just a fight, it's a generational reckoning, and no one wants to miss it. The buzz around Benn versus Eubank Jr. isn't just limited to promoters and boxing insiders. Even UFC stars are weighing in. Former UFC fighter Darren Till recently shared his take, adding a crossover voice to the growing debate. Known for his honesty and no-nonsense views, Till's perspective adds a raw outsider edge to the conversation. He broke down the matchup in a way that casual fans and hardcore fight followers can both relate to.
Maybe then you just don't know. Maybe where does he go from there if Conor beats him? I'm not trying to say Conor's any less of him, but yeah, Chris is obviously the guy who should beat him because he's a lot heavier, maybe more seasoned. But you know, it's definitely a 50-50 fight in my eyes. I think Conor's going to beat him. So yeah, you can see where that thought process comes from. But you know, who knows? I know Chris likes to play poker a lot, so maybe comes back for the money or something. Don't know.
Till sees the fight as a genuine 50-50 and admits there are real questions about where Eubank Jr. goes if he loses. While he acknowledges Eubank's experience and size, he leans toward Benn's hunger and momentum. His comments reflect what a lot of fans are thinking. This fight isn't as straightforward as it looks on paper. The weight difference might favor Eubank, but the fire in Benn's corner can't be ignored. And as Till cheekily suggests, maybe for Eubank it all just comes down to the money in the end. As fight week approaches, emotions are boiling over, and Eddie Hearn has made it clear that this isn't just a clash of styles, it's a clash of pure hatred. What once started as a respectful continuation of a legendary family rivalry has now spiraled into something far more personal. The build-up, the insults, the mind games. It's gone beyond hype and turned into real animosity. Hearn recently opened up about just how deep the bad blood now runs between the two camps.
I think even before the first, the first fight, which was 2 years ago now, that fell through, there was rivalry, but there was respect. You know, they were their father's sons, and we're walking in the footsteps of our fathers. Now it's pure hate. You know, you saw the press conference. I mean, Eubank, with the egg and, the 100 grand fine and, stuff towards me as well, if you like, and, the digs at Conor, the digs at his dad. I mean, it's extremely personal. Extremely personal.
According to Hearn, the respectful undertone that existed 2 years ago is gone. What we're seeing now is raw, public tension that's only getting worse. Eubank's antics, from press conference stunts to pointed jabs at both Conor and Nigel Benn, have only added fuel to the fire. It's no longer just about legacy or namesakes. It's personal insults, pride, and power on the line. When that bell rings, this won't be about points. It'll be about punishment. With tensions now at an all-time high, Eddie Hearn gave a closer look into what's really driving Conor Benn behind the scenes. This fight has gone way beyond the usual hype. It's personal, emotional, and all-consuming for Benn. Hearn says that every insult, every stunt, and every jab from Eubank Jr. has been fueling the fire throughout training camp. He stated, "That's why I think Conor's carried a lot of that into training camp. He wants to do a job on him, he really does." That's not just talk, it's obsession. Benn isn't just preparing for a bout, he's preparing for a war. This isn't about points or decision wins. This is about sending a message, hurting the man who's disrespected him, and settling a family score in front of the world. Hearn continued, he sleeps, eats, breathes Chris Eubank Jr., and he'll be ready for what will be a spectacular night at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. From when that first bell goes, he's going to be electric. This shows just how locked in Ben is right now. Every second of his day is focused on one goal, destroying Eubank Jr. on the biggest stage possible. Hearn's words echo what everyone inside Team Ben already knows. When that bell rings, Conor isn't showing up to box. He's showing up to explode. While most voices in the boxing world are hyping up Ben versus Eubank Jr. as a must-see showdown, not everyone is fully on board. Simon Jordan has taken a more critical stance on the fight. Known for his blunt honesty and no-filter opinions, Jordan isn't afraid to go against the grain, even when the hype is deafening. In a recent interview, he explained why he's never fully backed this matchup from the start.
No, I can't be inconsistent, I can't be dishonest and a hypocrite. I've said from the outset that I didn't like the fight. I felt it was a fight built upon other people's legacies. I understand what it's turned into. I understand the furore and the interest, and I understand the point that Eddie Hearn's making. If you ask Frank Warren what he thinks of it, he doesn't think much of it. People might say that's because he's not involved in it. But I would like to see Conor Benn fighting at 147 and winning a world title in that weight class, and I'd like Eubank, who I think is a brilliant showman and a great raconteur, fighting for a world title at 160 or 168.
Jordan believes the fight is more about legacy than merit, built on the names of their famous fathers rather than current rankings or titles. He questions whether it's the right career move for either fighter and suggests that both Ben and Eubank Jr. should be chasing world titles in their proper weight classes instead. While he admits he understands the interest and hype surrounding it, he still views it as more spectacle than substance. Jordan's take might not be popular, but it reflects a growing concern among purists who feel this rivalry has drifted too far from real sporting stakes. Still, as he says, to each their own. Following Simon Jordan's critical view, former world champion Carl Frampton offered a more balanced take, blending a purist's perspective with genuine excitement for the spectacle. As someone who values merit and titles, Frampton admits there are ideal matchups for both fighters in their natural divisions. Yet even with those reservations, he couldn't hide his anticipation for what this event has become.
It's going to be a massive event, but I mean, I agree with some of the stuff you're saying. I would like to see Eubank fight and win a world title at 147. I would like to see, Conor Benn. I would like to see Eubank stay at, I think 160's hurting him now. I would like to see him fight at 168. But the appeal of this fight is massive.
Oh,
it's something that, I mean, it's even got my attention. Like, and I see myself as a boxing purist, but I can't wait for fight week. I think there's going to be chaos. And then I can't wait for the fight.
Frampton agrees that Conor Benn should ideally be chasing a world title at 147 and that Eubank Jr. might be better suited moving up to 168. Still, he admits the sheer scale and drama of this fight is impossible to ignore. Even as a self-described boxing purist, the rivalry, the chaos, and the emotional stakes have fully pulled him in. For Frampton, this is more than a standard fight. It's a cultural moment in British boxing, and like millions of others, he says he can't wait for fight week. Building on his earlier thoughts, Carl Frampton also spoke about the business side of Ben versus Eubank Jr. While titles and rankings matter to most boxing purists, Frampton acknowledges that this fight has crossed into something much bigger. It's no longer just about belts. It's about buzz, legacy, and box office appeal. In his eyes, this is a financial juggernaut that few fights in British boxing can match.
I mean, there'll be these two fighters may or may not never ever win a world title, but the numbers that's going to happen and be created around this fight are going to be absolutely incredible.
Frampton points out that whether or not either man ever becomes a world champion, the numbers this event will generate are going to be massive. From pay-per-view buys to ticket sales, this fight is a commercial beast. It taps into nostalgia, family rivalry, and national pride, the kind of perfect storm promoters dream of. In a sport where entertainment often drives opportunity, Frampton's comments reflect the new reality. This isn't just a fight card, it's a blockbuster event. Carl Frampton further continued and shifted his focus to the physical aspects of the match, particularly the challenge Chris Eubank Jr. faces with the weight limit. Frampton, who's no stranger to weight cuts, raised concerns about how Eubank's body might handle the strain, especially considering his age and recent fights at 160 pounds. The added pressure of the rehydration clause could further complicate things, making it a tough task for Eubank to stay within the limits.
I want to see what Chris Eubank looks like on the scales. I think think that his last few fights have been at 160, but he has fought at 168. I think as you get older, rather than coming down the weight, you should be going up the way. You know, it's harder for your metabolism your metabolism slows down. It's harder for you to make the weight. I want to have a look at him. I think the weight's hurt him now, and this rehydration clause, I think, also hurts him. Now, people are saying 10 pounds is a lot to be putting on in a day, but for the IBF, when I was IBF champion, I had the same rehydration clause. So the day of the fight, I could only be up from 122 pounds, I could only weigh 132 pounds, and it hurt me. I used to go to bed at 11.5 pounds over a dry out 1.5 pounds and weigh in 132 bang on. So I had it down to a fine art. It's going to be very difficult for Chris Eubank to stay within 10 pounds after the weight.
Frampton emphasized that as fighters get older, dropping down to a lower weight class becomes harder, and the weight cut could be taking a toll on Eubank. He explained how the rehydration clause could also play a big role, citing his own experience with a similar rule during his IBF title reign. Despite the challenges, Frampton still believes the fight is set to deliver, but Eubank's ability to manage the weight could be a crucial factor. For him, how Eubank looks on the scales could reveal much more than just his physical state. It could reveal how much the weight is affecting him. Meanwhile, boxing expert Adam Smith weighed in on the technical side of the matchup, analyzing Eubank Jr.'s strengths and weaknesses. He acknowledged that Eubank is a stylish and skillful fighter, but he couldn't help but express some concern over the lingering effects of Eubank's defeat to Liam Smith. That loss and the circumstances surrounding it still have Smith questioning how Eubank will perform when pushed to his limits.
Eubank Jr., I mean, he's stylish and he's skillful, and if that Liam Smith defeat, which worries me a bit for Chris, if that's sort of part of the past, that the rematch was emphatic for Eubank Jr., but it wasn't Liam's night really, and he had an injury going into it. So that defeat that Eubank suffered worries me a bit, but he's fought in better company, and Conor Benn's got it all to prove. But if there's one guy that wants it more, it's Conor Benn. There's no doubt about that.
Smith explained that although the rematch between Eubank and Smith was decisive, there were factors that affected the outcome, including Smith's injury. However, he noted that Eubank's track record against top-tier opponents cannot be ignored. While Eubank has proven himself against higher-level competition, Smith made it clear that if there's one fighter who is hungrier and more driven in this fight, it's Conor Benn. Benn's determination to prove himself could be the game changer, and in Smith's eyes, that hunger might just be the difference in this high-stakes clash. As more boxing legends weigh in on the showdown, former world champion Amir Khan offered his own take on the matchup, balancing his thoughts between both fighters. Khan, known for his speed and technical style, highlighted the key factor that many believe could give Eubank the upper hand: his size. However, Khan wasn't completely sold on Eubank's advantage, leaving room for a surprising twist in this fight. Khan started by saying, "I'm gonna lean more towards Eubank because he's the heavier guy. But then again, I'm not saying Benn is gonna get beaten. I think Benn has a chance as well." Khan sees the size difference as a significant factor, but acknowledges that Benn's boxing style and skill could close the gap. Benn's technique, combined with his raw determination, could potentially make the fight more competitive than many expect. Khan's uncertainty shows how difficult it is to call this one, with the dynamic between power and skill hanging in the balance. He continued, "He's got that good boxing style. He might want to work from up, and you never know. I mean, having that extra bit of weight might give the extra bit of strength as well." Khan admits that the weight advantage might play a role, but it's not a guarantee. Benn's strategy and ability to adapt could turn the tide in his favor. Khan's balanced approach highlights just how unpredictable this fight is, with both fighters carrying strengths that could potentially lead to victory. This unpredictability is exactly why fight fans are so excited for the final bell to ring. As the fight grows closer, the drama surrounding Benn versus Eubank Jr. takes another surprising turn. In a move that has stunned the boxing world, Chris Eubank Sr. has boldly predicted that his son will lose to Conor Benn. Given the deep history between the two families, this prediction has added a new level of tension to an already heated rivalry. Eubank Sr.'s comments have sparked plenty of speculation. Some believe his concerns over the fight's conditions and risks, especially after the tragic loss of his younger son, could be influencing his stance. This unexpected twist only deepens the intrigue surrounding surrounding the fight, making it more than just a battle between two fighters. It's a clash of legacies. On the other side, Nigel Benn, father of Conor Benn, exudes unwavering confidence ahead of the upcoming fight against Chris Eubank Jr., predicting a swift victory for his son. He envisions Conor applying relentless pressure, stating, "Conor's just gonna go out there, mate, and just give it to him. Put it on him." Nigel is so assured in Conor's abilities that he believes the bout won't last beyond 4 rounds, saying, "I don't see it going past 4 rounds.
I just think that Conor's just going to go out there, mate, and just give it to him, put it on him. And I know he would do that. I'm 100% confident in Conor doing that. I'm so relaxed, so sure. I know what my son can do. He's actually the best, a much better fighter than me. I could never box like Conor. I was just going in and have a bang. I just want to have a war. But Conor's got all him in his locker, mate. Every single thing. I'm so confident. I don't see it going past 4 rounds. And it's not even 4 rounds. It's like when Conor catches him. So it could be round one, round 2. I don't see it going past 4 rounds, and that's my opinion.
Reflecting on his own fighting style, Nigel humbly compares it to Conor's, acknowledging, "I could never box like Conor." He praises his son's skills. "He's actually the best, a much better fighter than me." This fatherly endorsement adds a personal touch to the rivalry, highlighting the deep family pride and belief in Conor's imminent success. Trainer Tony Sims has been vocal about his expectations for the fight, calling it an absolute fantastic fight. He believes Conor Benn will bring a level of ferocity to the ring, echoing the intensity of his father, Nigel Benn. Sims draws parallels between both fighters, stating that Conor is a carbon copy of his dad, just as Chris Eubank Jr. mirrors his father's style with experience and strength. Sims expects nothing less than a thrilling night of boxing. He said, "Conor is gonna bring that ferociousness to the fight. You know, he's a carbon copy of his dad. Chris has obviously got the experience and a bit of weight on him, and he's a carbon copy of his dad as well. So I think we're all in for a great night of boxing." Sims points out that while Eubank Jr. has the advantage of experience and weight, Benn's aggression and drive will be key to the outcome. With both fighters bringing their father's fighting styles into the ring, this is shaping up to be a clash of not just athletes, but legacies. Sims's excitement reflects the high stakes and the belief that we're in for an unforgettable fight. As the build-up to the highly anticipated Benn vs. Eubank Jr. fight continues, one thing is clear: this is no ordinary boxing match. It's a battle of legacies, family pride, and intense personal rivalries. With both fighters bringing everything they've got, from skill to hunger, the stakes have never been higher. Whether Conor Benn's ferocity and youth can overcome Chris Eubank Jr.'s experience and size remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, this fight is poised to deliver fireworks. What do you think? Will Conor Benn's hunger and aggression be enough to overcome the power and experience of Chris Eubank Jr.? Can Eubank Jr. handle the pressure of the weight cut and the rehydration clause? Will we see a knockout, or will the fight go the distance? Who has more to prove in this rivalry, and who will ultimately come out on top? The answers are just around the corner. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and tune in for more videos like this.